it's me, Tuniscia O, and today with Tuniscia O, I have a very special guest.
Hi, my name is Aiko.
Ike O.
Yeah.
I like that. So today, this is my baby boy, and he came up with today's topic. What did you say you wanted to talk about?
So today's topic is called forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Why did this come up? Like, what made you think of this topic?
So things have been going on through my past, and when you were talking to me about all the different topics and everything, it just came to my mind, forgiveness, and how we can forgive our family members. And even though someone has done bad things to you, you still have to love them.
Yeah.
Because in order to forgive someone, you have to love them.
Absolutely. So tell me, what are some of the things that you just mentioned, bad things happening or something happened in your past? What are some of those things? Do you want to share?
Okay, so when I was a little kid, this incident happened.
I love the little kid because you're a big kid now, huh? Yeah, I like that.
When I was a little kid, this incident happened between my mom and daddy, and it was just like crazy and everything.
So before we go on, your mom and daddy, let's talk about how our family dynamics are broken down, maybe to help people understand who we are as a family, right? Yeah, let's talk about that. How do you want to describe that?
So I live with my mom and my dad and my brothers, but I see my
Biological?
biological mom on the weekends.
Like every other weekend, right?
Every other weekend.
Yeah.
And I still love them the same way.
Yeah.
And I don't compare. So
let's see. So what he's saying is Ike O here lives with myself, and this is my baby boy. I'm not his biological mother, but does that change our love?
No, we still love the same.
Exactly, love the same. And he has 2 older brothers and sisters that live in the house with them, huh?
Yes.
They're college, well, your older sister graduated. She's already has her master's. Yep, she's finished. And then your middle brother is in school, going back to school. But then there's a younger sister that your biological mother has, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you hear him talking about mommy, that would be his biological mother, and then I am mom. So I just wanted to give that explanation, and now go ahead and chat, my love.
Okay, so when I was a little kid, this incident happened. I explained, and it was just crazy, and I don't really want to explain it more, but I still forgive mommy and daddy for what happened, and I still love them the same way, even though they really don't have that much of a bonding relationship. But I still forgive them. I still love them the same way, and it doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter if you and your dad, if you don't live with your mom that well, it doesn't impact on how you love them.
Yeah.
And if you don't forgive them, then in my perspective, if you don't forgive them, then you'll still keep the same incident that happened.
Yeah.
But if you do forgive them, you won't necessarily let it go, but you will kind of forget about it.
Okay. So if you don't mind, let me tap into a couple things because you're giving me some good information. One, I think it's awesome that you're not like airing the dirty laundry, so to speak, on all the bad things, because what happened isn't the most important aspect, as it is to know forgiveness is important, right? So let's talk about this incident that you're referring to. How did it impact you? Because the incident, like, was it something that had to do with you or them, or how did that incident impact you?
Well, it did, because I felt like daddy and mom were just hitting each other, and it felt like I wasn't getting loved that much.
You felt like the disagreements that they were having was impacting you. Okay, how so? What can you tell me about that?
Because like the incident and mommy and daddy not really getting along, I felt like since they're not getting along, then they might not get along with me.
Oh man.
But now I realize that just because an incident happens doesn't mean it's your fault.
Yeah, that's true. So how now, because you said that this was an incident that took place when you were much younger, how have things shifted? Like, how has your life shifted having three parents? So you live with two parents, and then you have your biological mom that you don't live with. How has that been with three parents? What does that mean for you? Or how has it impacted you?
Well, at first I felt that first when you and daddy got married, I felt that you weren't my real mom. And I felt that you were just my stepmother, and mommy was just my real mom, even though she is.
Yeah.
But I've learned that even though, when you get married and all things, everybody's the same. Like, you're my mom, mommy's my mom, daddy's still my dad, and everything. But I used to think that you and mommy didn't get along as well. But just because you think something doesn't mean it's always right. And I learned to forgive myself and forgive you and mommy and daddy, and I forgive myself for judging others.
That's a good. So you were little when we got married, right? And the truth is that I didn't give birth to you. But let's spend some time there for a minute. What are some of the things that changed your heart to take you viewing me no longer as just a stepmother? Because we don't use the word step in our house, do we?
No.
We don't have any stepkids, no stepmothers, no stepchildren. We're just family, right? We're all the same. So what happened in our relationship from your perspective that changed your thought of, this woman isn't my stepmom, she's something else? What happened?
Well, you taught me good manners, and you taught me how to read and write and everything. So when I was thinking that, because like some people at my school, they have the same thing, but I was thinking
Same thing, how
like
love?
Same when I live with you and daddy, and I don't really get to see my mom. They live with their, they call their mom their stepmother,
Okay.
and their dad, and they don't really get to see their mom that much. But when I thought that you were just there, but I realized that when you taught me how to read and everything, that you weren't my stepmother. You were a real mom.
My mom.
Even though
thank you.
You weren't. I wasn't your biological child.
Did you ever feel different from the older two kids to you? Was there ever a difference in how the big kids were treated, or the way I treated the older two kids versus the way you were treated?
No, it was all the same.
It's the same? So how important do you think it was for us, for you and I, to build a relationship together outside of daddy or mom or anyone else?
It was very important.
Yeah?
Because if you don't have a relationship with your parents, then how are you going to be able to express your feelings?
Yeah. So
communicate.
Yes, communication is key. So since you're the baby of the family, it's you and I here a lot, cooking dinner and doing homework and all those projects that we do, and
You taught me how to cook.
Yes, taught you how to cook and ride a bike and how to swim, and just being a parent. Like, I feel like while raising you, it's no different than raising the older two kids. There was never a difference, which is why we don't use the word step in our house, because step makes you feel, wow, what does that seem like? When someone is a stepchild, it makes them, in my opinion, because I was a stepchild, right? It always made me feel like I was different then. I wasn't necessarily accepted, and it doesn't mean that the word step parents or step children really is different. It was just the way I felt about the word, because when I grew up and I was a a stepchild, I didn't feel the love of being a stepchild. I definitely felt different than my siblings who were in the home with both of their biological parents. And so it was really important to me to make sure you never felt different, to make sure you knew that I loved you. And when Daddy and I were dating and we got married, I didn't just get a husband. I got an extra special prize, which was you. You know, it's totally you. And so I made sure it was super important that we bonded. We bonded on our own. You bonded with the big kids, you know. Remember being a little kid, play on a basketball team when your older brother was in played basketball and you got to come out with the team?
Yeah.
Like the little mascot. You were never different, right? You're the same. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward, because that's some of the stuff that you were talking about when you were younger. So how do you feel now? Years have passed. We are where we are. How would you describe the relationships, your idea of the relationship that mommy and daddy have, and your relationship, and also the relationship mom, have with mommy currently, and how have those relationships impacted you? Like, have they changed any? Are they the same? What do you think?
So how they impacted me with mommy
to
and
today?
daddy?
Yeah.
So today, well, that I can think of, probably not.
Their relationship hasn't changed.
No.
They still don't talk so much, huh?
No.
No.
But with you and mommy, yes.
Yeah.
Because you guys, even though she probably doesn't like communicating with you guys, you guys still communicate and everything, and it's still kind of a bond between you and mommy, because you guys have gotten better with each other, and I learned that mommy now has been able to communicate with others better.
Yeah.
And
when you say others, who are you referring to, love?
Like mama and her friends.
Oh, okay.
Like, she's very, well, not, she is kind. I wouldn't say she's very kinder, but because she is kind, but she has communicated better ever since. Like, you have given her advice and everything, and now that we're going to go to Clemmer, I feel like it's going to help her even more, and she's going to be able to come to my events, and be able to be there when we need her.
Yes. So what are some of the things that you and I, because we spend so much time together and talking and having fun, we have our own thing that we do. What are some of the things that I've shared with you when it comes to having two different moms, or maybe some kids may have two dads, or however? What's one of the number one key things that I always tell you is super important not to do?
Don't compare.
Don't compare. Elaborate on that for me, love.
Don't compare, because we're all different.
Come on in here. There we go. I want to make sure you're in there.
Don't compare, because we're all different, and we all are unique in our own ways. And if we compare, then it makes it seem like you and mommy are the same people. Right. Even though you're not. And the other thing is to love everybody the same. Because if you can, but you can't love one person the most and the other person just a little bit. You have to love them all the same. Yeah. And love them for who they are, right?
So what is one of the things what are some of if your message was to reach the world, right, to other kids who are in blended families, is it all a bad thing?
No, it's not.
It's not, huh?
It's a good thing too.
How so? What do you get? What are some of the benefits of being in a blended family? What are some of the plus things?
Number one, your family members still love you.
Yeah.
And number two, you can still spend time with your real mom and with your family members. And just because we are in a different family, doesn't mean that we can't spend time with each other,
Right.
or we can't communicate, or every time, like, if someone sees their stepmother, when they call her stepmother, they just pause and don't talk to them,
Yeah.
and they don't have a good relationship. But if we do have a good relationship, then we're able to express everything. We're able to tell them when we're having trouble, and they're able to help us.
Yeah.
And when I'm in a blended family, it helps me learn that you can be in a blended family. You can love each other the same. You can be with everyone, and you can respect everyone for who they are.
Yeah.
And you can be different. You don't have to be like, you don't have to have the same body as, because we all come in all shapes and sizes. You don't have
Right.
to have the same body as everybody else.
Right. You don't have to have the same body. You don't have to have the same thinking. You can be, and I hope that we all are, completely unique and genuine, and love and appreciate every person for who they are, right? So what are some of the things that you feel are the number one, like, negatives that people talk about when it comes to blending families?
The number one thing, or just
Just a
multiple
couple
ideas?
thoughts, yeah.
Well, from what I heard in my school, from what I heard
Stay
in my
right
school,
here.
they say that like, it's really not fair for them,
It's
because
not fair.
no,
Why?
because even though they're in a blended family,
Mm-hmm.
they don't really think it's fair that they have to live with one person and not the other.
Ah, that's understandable. So what's some of your advice to them?
The world's not fair, but if you think that it's not fair because you live with one person, not the other, you don't have to think that, because just because you live with one person and not the other doesn't mean they don't love you anymore.
Absolutely.
Because you still have to love them, and they still love you.
Yeah.
But if you don't love them, doesn't mean they don't love you.
Right. So if I hear you correctly, it sounds like forgiveness is something that we should be willing to do even if the other person doesn't accept it.
Yes.
We also should be forgiving even if we don't feel like they always deserve it, right? But so who is the forgiveness for? For me, I feel like when I'm forgiving someone for something that's happened, it's for me to heal and move on, right?
Because
Go ahead, love.
Because if you don't move on for it, it's going to impact you.
Yeah.
But if you do move on, then, like I said, you're not letting it go,
Right.
really, but you're just basically forgetting about the situation.
How about if you are letting it go?
Well, if you are letting it go, it's a good thing too,
Yeah.
and a bad thing too. Because if you do, let's say if someone does something bad, but they make it up to you,
Okay.
but you still don't forgive them. If you let that go, then you're just not going to forgive them your whole life.
Right. But who do you think that impacts? So if we just refuse to forgive people and we just say forget that, who's hurting? Is it hurting us or is it hurting them?
It's hurting them.
Who do you think it's hurting
us?
more? Yeah. So picture this. It's like allowing someone, you're going to be an investor and you're going to own all these properties when you get older, right? So when you have your tenants move in, are you planning on charging them money to live there?
No.
You're going to let people live in your buildings for
Oh.
free?
No.
They're going to pay.
They have to.
I was going to say, I'm moving into your buildings,
Unless it's you and Daddy.
Me and Daddy? Okay.
Then you're free.
So let's say it's a tenant who's paying, right? Allowing people to stay in our hearts when we don't forgive them, holding bitterness or resentment, it's the same as allowing someone to live rent-free in our lives. You don't want someone to live rent-free in your building, right? So should we let people live rent-free in our lives? No. So I guess it's time to evict some people, huh? So forgiveness is basically about us evicting those people that don't need to be there. It doesn't mean that we ignore them, but that bitterness and that hurt or that resentment and pain, that's what we're going to evict out of our lives, right?
Right.
It's kind of like that, remember that 21-day forgiveness project we did, Ayala Van Zant?
I remember.
What are some of the key takeaways from that that you did? Because we all did it, which was an amazing project.
So one of my things were
I think Daddy's going to chime in a second also.
okay. Okay, so one thing was I forgive myself, I forgive my mind for thinking that I am a bad person.
Oh, you thought you were a bad person?
Yes, because all the trouble I've made, so I thought that I wasn't a good person, but now that
The trouble you made. What does that even mean? We probably don't even want to tell everybody the little things, but that just means you're not perfect.
But everybody's not perfect.
No one is, right? Introduce me to that perfect person. What else, love? And you don't have to share everything because these are your private thoughts. So
I'm gonna just one more.
Okay. You can share as much as you want. I'm not stopping you. I just want to tell you that these are your private thoughts.
I forgive myself for judging my father for not letting me stay with my mommy.
Let's talk about that. Hey, love. This is a good one. Let's call Daddy and see if he can chime into that because this would be a good one for him to hear because he hasn't heard it, huh?
Okay.
Hey, love.
Be right back, guys.
You're going to go grab Daddy?
Yep.
All right. So this is a really good thing. Forgiveness is critical in our success and in our journey through life. Many times we don't want to forgive because we feel like we're letting them be free from what it is. Love, we're recording live, sweetie. But it's not about them. It's actually about us forgiving ourselves. Just go ahead and close the door. It's okay. Close the door. It's fine. We'll just let it go. It's okay. Just close the door.
He's coming in.
Okay. So I just mentioned something that I wanted to share. Go ahead and reread what you said.
Okay. So I forgive myself for judging my father for not letting me stay with mommy.
So we're gonna tap on that just for a quick second. He forgives it. Repeat it one more time.
I forgive myself for judging my father for not letting me stay with mommy.
Huh. What does that mean? Like, I know what it means from reading, but what did that mean to you? Because this is probably something that a lot of kids deal with, some level of resentment towards one parent or another for not being able to live with them or be with them, right? So what does that mean, love? What what were you going through in that?
I felt that since mommy and daddy didn't really have a good relationship, he just wanted me to stay with him more.
Okay. Uh-huh.
But now I realize that I know the reason why now.
So why? So why?
Because now where I was living with mommy, it really wasn't a really good place for me to live in that neighborhood. So daddy wanted me to live with him so I can be a man and I can be brave and still love everyone the same way. So now...
But women can teach that too, right? Men just have a different touch because it's a man's touch, right?
Yes.
And you live with a woman. I just don't want any women to think, oh man, women can't teach a man to be brave. But women bring a different element to a relationship, right?
So now, I still forgive daddy and mommy, but now I understand why that was.
Why it was? So what do you think, love? What comes to mind when you hear him sharing his thoughts?
Well,
Or are you surprised?
no, not really. But I'm happy. I'm glad that that's something he worked out on his own.
Can you just stand right there? Just come a little closer. Just right there is fine. Yeah.
No, but I'm glad that that's something you worked out on your own. I didn't have to. which I've always been a firm believer. Like, as you get older, things make more sense to you.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I'm proud of you. It's a good thing.
What
That's
are you
just my thought. Yeah.
What are you proud of?
No, because he processed it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he processed it himself and worked it out and understood the different dynamics and understood that even though something may seem like it's not great at the time, it's usually for a higher purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was what, 2 years ago?
Dad,
longer
when
than
I
that.
asked about
No, when we
when you
did
did that?
this book, was this about 2 years ago? A year ago? You were
It was
about
in-
9
it
or
was
10.
in third grade.
Third grade. You're in fifth grade. Wow. So that's a lot of processing to do for a third grader. That means you really took that forgiveness thing serious, huh? It was something that we were all working on doing.
Yep.
Cool. Dad's giving you a pound. So, anything else you want to share? Any last words? Any last words from you, Will?
Okay, so look out for my book that I'll be publishing,
We won't tell them the topic
but
yet.
I'm not going to tell you the title,
Not yet.
but it'll be in stores near you.
I love it.
Stars doing it. That's what's up.
I love it. Love. Any last words, final words on forgiveness?
Forgiveness brings peace inside of you. And it brings understanding also. But for you to be able to forgive whoever that is in your life or touched your life, you have to first forgive yourself. Especially if whatever it is that caused that pain, anger, animosity, brought, hatred, or whatever negative feeling it put inside of you, you have to be able to forgive yourself first, so that you'll be able to forgive others and move on.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright, guys.
that's very true. So, was there a last thought that you just had? While
I
Daddy
was
was
going to
talking?
read a quote
What do you want to read?
from there.
You can read it.
Okay,
You want to bring it over?
so,
Is this one of your favorite quotes?
yes, one of my favorite quotes from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was, "Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase."
So this is a cool little plaque that he actually had on his desk that he keeps. Let's see. Let's let everybody read that. It's an amazing quote. So, in closing, forgiveness is the step one in everything that we do. Whether we're forgiving ourselves for eating too much and gaining weight, whether we're forgiving ourselves for the life that we haven't lived, whether we're forgiving ourselves for maybe not raising our children the way we desired or we wanted to, or forgiving ourselves for being negative, whatever it is that we need to forgive ourselves or others for, forgiveness is a key to the next step into moving on and embracing anything that we need to get. I hope that this message gets out, and there's going to be so many more with me and my little guy right here, but I hope that the reason why we decided to share this video today is because when we have blended families and various things happen between parents, we don't typically turn to the child to see what's happening in their minds and what's going on and how it's impacting them, but it's impacting them. And it's important for us to know what's happening with them, because a lot of the things that we see play out in their day-to-day lives in school, it comes out differently. Sometimes it's the bullying that they may be doing, or they may be bullied. Sometimes it's aggressive behavior, or sometimes they just go within and they stop talking. Sometimes it's, there's so many countless things, but they just completely step away and we lose them because a lot of times as parents, we've failed them. And it's super important that we continue to blend our love, and blending our love means mixing. It means accepting people for who they are. right?
Yes.
For loving them for who they are and where they are. Let's just continue to love each other and love ourselves, and we'll continue to share our journey as we continue to grow in our family, right? Which is an amazing journey. So I hope that you guys all enjoy a great day, and we will see you soon. Ciao.
Bye.
Tell them keep blending their love, huh?
Yep. Keep blending your love and
All right.
love people for who they are.
Yes. Enjoy a great day, guys.